So I'm making this video as a plea to the people to take action, because we are in a very dire situation with this geoengineering that's going on, and people need to realize how serious this is. We are being poisoned every day by way of aircraft depositing toxic chemicals into the atmosphere under the pretense that they're going to combat global warming, modify the weather in order to create rain, or even to create drought. And this is something that people need to realize. You know, if something is labeled a conspiracy theory, there's a really good chance it's because it's something that the establishment does not want the people to investigate further, and so they slap this label on it in order to immediately discredit it and dissuade people from looking into it further. And when you go online and do a search for information about this, you don't want to use the term chemtrails. It's already been tagged as a term that's going to automatically bring up articles that basically are talking about how this is just a crazy conspiracy theory. So if you're going to do research, you need to use the terms geoengineering or climate modification, weather modification. This is something that has been going on for decades, and it's no longer a theory. You know, I mean, people need to open their eyes and wake up and snap out of this denial. All you have to do is look at the sky, and you can see that we are being sprayed. You know, people try to say, just brush it off as being contrails, and you know, that's just straight up denial or complete ignorance. And you know, people need to stop trying to hide from this and take a look at what's really going on, because we are in grave danger if we don't stop this now. You know, we've got honeybees dying off in mass amounts. This is a major problem. If the honeybees die, we die. There's no way that we can survive without these pollinators that are critical for our agriculture. And it's a very serious problem, and people are not even talking about it. And you know, we've got ocean life dying, and you know, the honeybee crisis. You know, there is no answer for what's killing the bees, and my conclusion is it's got to be these toxic chemicals that are being deposited into our air, and it's affecting us. It's affecting the environment. And we're being, I mean, people, you know, more and more people are being diagnosed with things like Alzheimer's and dying with dementia due to the high levels of aluminum that we are involuntarily ingesting, you know, not just from chemtrails, but from things like vaccines and mercury. And I mean, it's really bad. And, you know, so I'm making a call to action. People need to stand up and demand that this stop. And basically, you know, people don't even realize that there is legislation actually that has legalized the spraying of the population. The U.S. Legal Code Title 50, Chapter 32, Section 1520A, and I'll leave some links to this stuff in this video. Basically, it says, prohibited activities. The Secretary of Defense may not conduct, directly or by contract, 1, any test or experiment involving the use of a chemical agent on a civilian population, or 2, any other testing of a chemical agent or biological agent on human subjects. B, the exceptions, but see, the exceptions, subject to subsection C, D, and E of this section, the prohibition in subsection A of this section does not apply to a test or experiment carried out for any of the following purposes. 1, any peaceful purpose that is related to a medical, therapeutic, pharmaceutical, agricultural, industrial, or research activity. 2, any purpose that is directly related to protection against toxic chemicals or biological weapons and agents. 3, any law enforcement purpose, including any purpose related to riot control. So basically these exceptions are giving them the okay for them to conduct experiments on the population. And if, according to that last one, basically if we stand up and riot against it, then they have the go ahead to spray us even more with these chemicals. And it goes on to say, informed consent required. The Secretary of Defense may conduct a test or experiment described in subsection B of this section only if informed consent to the testing was obtained from each human subject in advance of the testing on that subject. And so that gets me right there. Basically, this is an illegal thing that they're doing if they're, we're supposed to be providing our consent, but basically, we are giving consent through our silence, and that's the bottom line. If we don't speak up about it, silence is consent. And you know, so we need to be contacting our state representatives. We need to be vocal about this and demanding that we at least have a say about what is going on, what is, what we're being subjected to. That we be given some kind of notice before they start spraying us with their aluminum and their barium and strontium and bacteria. That there's all kinds of things that they are, lithium. I mean, it's toxic, and it's destroying our soil. It's making it very difficult for organic farmers to produce decent yields, and making it more and more necessary that, we're going to have to turn to this GMO seed that is aluminum resistant if we're going to have anything to eat. And that's a pretty serious problem, if you ask me. And yeah, so, this is a call for action, and, it's not going to stop unless enough people stand up and speak out and say something and start doing something. It has to stop, and we have to unite and come together and raise our voices in protest. This is not okay. And I don't think it's passed yet, but they have another bill on the table, the U.S. Senate Bill S601 for weather mitigation research and development. And basically, this bill is funding experimental weather mitigation, and there's no congressional oversight. It allows for a board of directors that can be in office for years and be easily bribed. And with this bill, there's no public notification or consent requirements. And, that's about to pass here any day now if it hasn't already. And that really is going to make it even more difficult for us to have a voice in all of this and be able to say, we do not consent to this. So people need to wake up and stop being so ignorant to this, and stop, being so quick to brush these things off as just some crazy conspiracy theory. I mean, all you have to do is look at the sky, and it's become pretty much well known that that our government has been engaging in weather modification practices for decades, and it just takes some research to figure these things out. So I'm gonna post some links for things that for people that are still not aware of what is going on, and please take the time to research this stuff and realize that we are in grave danger if we don't do something. And what kind of future are we going to have for our children and our children's children? They're looking to basically to kill us in this process. And people wonder why they're doing this. Why would they want to do this? And basically, it's just collateral damage in their pursuit for profits. And basically, if they can control the weather, they can control the food supply, they can control the people. And ultimately, those who rule at the very top, think that they want to get rid of like 90% of the population, and it's being done systematically through different methods of poisoning. And this isn't just crazy talk. This is really going on. And if you start connecting the dots, you'll see it for yourself. So anyway, I for one am ready to start organizing something locally, and I'm here on Kauai. If there's any of my Facebook friends that are interested in joining me to protest against this geoengineering that's going on, and try to make an impact, and try to get other people informed and aware of what's going on, contact me, because I'm ready to do something. I've had enough. And if we don't stand together against this crap that they're doing to us, we are going to pay for it in the long run. And we may not suffer the worst consequences of it, but what about our children and their children? So it's time. Let's get together. Let's do this. We need to make an impact. We need to at least let them know that we do not consent.